Hello, good morning, all of you. Today we go for discussing large sample tests. As I already told you that in the inferential statistics, two wings are there. One wing, what you call this theory of estimation, and one more wing, what you call this one as testing of hypothesis. So now we are going to discuss about testing of hypothesis or else tests of significance. So what is the one more name? Tests of significance. So under testing of hypothesis or the tests of significance, we are going to identify, is there any significance difference between two populations, big circles. So is there any significance difference between two populations, or else is there any significance difference between the sample of the same population and as well as that population. So that is the purpose of what you call the testing of hypothesis. The testing of hypothesis or the tests of significance are divided into two types. One type of tests are known as LST, large sample tests. One more type of tests are known as SST, means small sample tests. The statistical tests which are based upon the large sample are known as the large sample tests. The statistical tests which are based upon the small sample are known as the small sample tests. That means both these tests are based upon the size of the sample. So I already told you in the sampling theory, from now onwards the sample size is going to represented by means of a lowercase alphabet, English alphabet. What is that? Small n. If the sample size is greater than or equal to 30, all those samples are known as the large samples. So let us suppose that the Maruti cars, 500 cars are there, you want to test their mileage. So you need not to test each and every Maruti car's mileage. So just pick 50 cars and test these 50 cars mileage. So here the 50 is known as the large sample. Same way. So if n is greater than or equal to 30, all those samples are known as the large samples. If n is strictly less than 30, so strictly less than 30 means what will be there? N might be 29, n might be 28, like that it goes on up to 1. That means meaningful size, that should be less than 30. So all these are all known as the small samples. Now we discuss about the small samples and the kind of distribution they follow afterwards. Now we discuss about the large sample tests. I already told you that because of the central limit theorem, it's a very, very important theorem in statistics. Whenever the sample size is larger, big, more larger, isn't it? That actually going to resemble the entire population. That is the logic behind the central limit theorem. So according to the central limit theorem, all the large samples follows what distribution? Normal distribution. Okay. So this is the basic principle while applying the what we call the large sample test. Suppose that a population is there. So from that population you took a sample and you take one more sample. Like different samples you are picking, understand? For every sample, let us suppose that you are calculating a statistic. Any sample information was the statistic. So for this statistic T1, this statistic is T2. Now this becomes T3, T4. So generally, what is the Tn? Okay. So if Tn is a statistic, okay, let us suppose that which follows the normal distribution. So that means whenever if you draw the picture of this statistic, so what is the picture you are going to get here? The bell-shaped curve. Okay. Then how to convert this one into a standard normal distribution? So let us suppose that here the mean is nothing but the expected value of Tn. Okay. And variance is nothing but variance of Tn. Then how to convert the any information into standard normal variate after knowing that follows the normal distribution? So that we are going to denote by means of the Z. Z is equal to, okay, what is that? The variable minus its mean. So what is the mean here? Expected value of Tn whole divided by the standard deviation. How do you get the standard deviation? Square root of the variance. So which actually known as obeying the standard normal distribution property. So this is called the basic principle under what we call the large sample test. What is the meaning of that? All the large sample values we are comparing with that of the standard normal distribution. We already discussed the standard normal distribution, nothing but the one more form of the normal distribution only. That's why while conducting the large sample test, what you are doing, we are reading out the values from the normal tables. Getting my point? Now how do you are going to get? Let us suppose that the ZC means C stands for calculated value. So from the formula we are going to calculate. The ZC value is what we call, let us suppose that less than or equal to ZT, where T stands for table value. In this time, what you are going to take the decision, yesterday we discussed, we are going to accept the null hypothesis. Accept the null hypothesis. When you are accepting the null hypothesis, indirectly you are actually taking a one more decision. What is that? You are rejecting the alternative hypothesis. So let us suppose that here two boys are there, A, B. If I say the boy A is a very good boy, I need not to say the B is not a good boy. Undermine that. You have to understand. Because comparatively we feel that the boy A is important for us. Same here also, when testing of hypothesis we are conducting, we focus only the null hypothesis. We need not to say again exclusively about the alternative hypothesis. If you are accepting the null hypothesis means indirectly you are rejecting the alternative hypothesis. When you can do, when the calculated value is less than or equal to table value. Where do you get the table value? From the tables you are going to read out. Or else we standard table values are there. From there we get the table value. Same way, what is that one more decision you are going to make? If ZC is greater than ZT, then what is the decision you are going to make? You are going to what you call reject. You are going to reject the what you called null hypothesis. You are going to reject the null hypothesis. Indirectly, you need not to say you are going to accept. So you are going to accept the alternative hypothesis. So what you call this? This you are calling as a testing procedure. Okay. So under large sample test, which is the basic assumption that all the samples are going to follow the normal distribution. Hence, we are going to develop a standard normal distribution formula. Now, from now onwards, we are going to get the formula which are all almost equal to this form. Okay. This below root value is known as, under sampling theory, standard error. What is standard error? Standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sample statistics. We already discussed that. Okay. Now you go for doing the first model problem, or else technically call this conducting the first test, test 1. So what do you call this one as test for population mean. The title is test for population mean. Test for population mean. That means here what you are doing, you are going to conduct whether the population mean is correct or not. How do you do that? You take a sample from that population, you are comparing that sample population mean with that of the entire population. That's why the one more title of this test is test for the significance difference. Test for the significance, this word is very, very important. Significance. So now we are going to discuss the testing procedure of the first test under large sample test. So what is the title? Test for population mean, or else a test for the significance difference between the population mean and as well as what you called the sample mean. Now actually, what is the purpose of this test? So let us suppose that here, okay, for example, so one city is there, city Hyderabad again, okay. A established brand. Let us suppose that a garments company is there. There are so many garments companies are there. Okay, like Arvind Mills are there, and besides that, so Levi's. Do you know Levi's? So one garment company wants to identify in this Hyderabad city the mean sales about what to call the famous garments of what to call the Levi's brand. Understand? So for that one, what they do, they need not to go and visit each and every outlet of the Hyderabad city. Simply what they do, from a particular area, they take a sample. Okay? So from this sample, let us suppose that they calculate on an average per month what are the mean sales. Understand? So based upon these mean sales, let us suppose that already the population mean. So how do you represent the population mean? Mu. As what to call, let us suppose that some almost 10 lakhs worth of business is taking place per month, like that. Now X bar also you are going to identify, and might be the answer would be almost equal to what to call 9.5 lakhs. Still some deviation would be there. By conducting this test procedure, finally you can say that yes, the population mean value, the Levi's brand is making 10 lakhs worth of business per month in this Hyderabad city. So how you are doing this? You are not visiting each and every store of the Hyderabad. Hundreds of stores are there. It's a time waste. Any one of the area you are taking, like Mehdipatnam would be there, Dilshuk Nagar would be there, Secunderabad in one famous area would be there. So from there, from few shops, you are going to get the average business, and you are comparing, and finally you are making the decision. Technically, if you speak, what you are doing, you are comparing the sample mean with that of the population mean. So what is this symbol mu? What is this x bar? And finally, whether it is correct or not, you are going to test. This is called the test for population mean. In the next, you are going to compare two population means. That means Hyderabad city with that of what you call, yesterday we were discussing what is that, the Chennai city, like one more city. So first test is only single population. The second test is extension of that two populations. If more than that, if you want to compare, one more statistical technique is there that you are calling as the ANOVA, analysis of the variance. That is the last technique under what you call unit 4. So based upon the tests of significance, we can understand about a single population or comparing two populations. That point you need to remember. Now I am going to what you call develop the testing procedure. What is the method of what to call this test for population mean? Remember that for anything what is required, first you need to write down the null hypothesis. NH stands for null hypothesis. What is that? H naught colon dash. First notation form you need to write. So test for population mean. So we are considering the population mean as mu, and for that any given value is correct or not, that any given value you are going to represent by means of mu naught. This is called the notation form. Immediately after notation form, what you need to do? You need to write the verbal form also. That is H naught. So I am starting in the colon dash. Okay. What is that? The population mean is equal to a specified value. What is the specified value, or in the given value? Mu naught. So we need to test whether the population mean mu is equal to mu naught or not. So this is called null hypothesis. Immediately you need to write one more statement. What you are calling this one as an alternative hypothesis. So what is that? H1. Okay. So what do you mean alternate hypothesis? Quite opposite statement to the null hypothesis known as the alternative hypothesis. But in the practical way, sometimes you need to write less than, greater than also. But this is the theory. Still we are developing theory of the what we call test for population mean. So directly what you write here, mu is not equal to mu naught. This is the statement. Then what is the verbal information? That H1. Okay. The population mean is not equal to, this word is very very important, is not equal to the specified value, the specified value. What is that? Mu naught. That's all. So testing procedure means first you need to write the null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. So after writing this, immediately we what you called write down the formula. That formula I already told you. So here what you are calling as test statistic. Okay. So what is that? That is z is equal to x bar minus mu naught by sigma by under root n. Okay, which follows n01. That means all this information follows or else reaches to the standard normal distribution. This is the first formula. You need to by heart this x bar minus mu naught by sigma by root n. Or one more formula also you can write. What is that? Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught by small s. So this I am writing small s by root n. This is one more formula. Also follows n01. So both the formulas are important. So x bar here, x bar. So when this second formula is used, whenever the sigma value is not given. What is sigma value? Population standard deviation. So when population standard deviation is not given, we are going to substitute the sample standard deviation. Getting my point? So this formula you need to by heart, the first set of form. Okay. So where x bar is known as the sample mean, that will be given in the problem. Mu naught the population mean, sigma population standard deviation. Okay. And root n, I mean to say here n is nothing but the sample size. And you get a value, that value you are calling as the calculated value, that we are going to represent by means of ZC. This value we are going to compare with the table value. Most standard table value is 5% value. If that is forms into this way, that is the calculated value is less than or equal to table value, what do we know? We know that we accept the null hypothesis. If this is greater than ZT, what happens? We are going to reject the null hypothesis. So what do you call this? The final decision making. So this is known as the testing procedure or the first test procedure. What is the first test? Test for population mean. Till now, this question, this model question not asked, but still for the knowledge purpose, I have explained. Simply actually they are giving the problems. But still, if you get this kind of question, you need to follow this. First thing is you need to write down the null hypothesis, notation, verbal, alternative hypothesis, notation, verbal, and you need to write down the formula and you need to take the decision. So after understanding this, now we are in a position to solve the problems under what we call the first test. What is the test for population mean? Okay. These are OHP sheets, overhead projector. Understand? Now see the testing procedure what we discussed till now. Test for population mean, test for the significant difference, the sample mean and the population mean. So the null hypothesis, notation and verbal. So here there are one more way of what to call writing the null hypothesis. What is that? There is no significant difference between the sample mean and the population mean. So both the statements are correct. This is the simple way, this is the extension way. Now alternate hypothesis. Now this is the test statistic. Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught by sigma by root n, which follows n01. But if sigma is not given, then what is the alternative formula? We are going to substitute. What is that? Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught by s by root n. Okay. Now what are the meanings of various notations? What we have used here, x bar stands for sample mean, mu naught the specified value of the population mean, sigma population standard deviation, smallest sample standard deviation, n sample size. So how we are making the decision? The calculated value, that is the test statistic, is calculated and compared with the two-tailed table value. So yesterday we were discussing two-tailed test, one-tailed test. How do you get the two-tailed, one-tailed based upon the alternative hypothesis? While doing the problems, you'll understand. We compare with the alpha percent LOS. If ZC is less than or equal to Z alpha by 2, we accept H naught. If ZC greater than Z alpha by 2, we reject the null hypothesis. So here alpha by 2 represents means the critical region divided on two sides, left side and right side. That's why this is called two-tailed test. This is notation, or else generally if you want you can write Z alpha also. Okay. Now after finding this formula is very, very important. So what do you call this formula? This is known as the confidence limits, fiducial limits. I mean to say, this is nothing but the interval estimation. How to get this? So in the given formula, the sample value plus or minus the table value into the standard error. So remember that in this formula, the sample value is this one. What is that? X bar. Okay. Entire below term becomes your standard error. So that standard error you are substituting. One time you take the plus, one time you take the minus. You will get the confidence limits. So in the problem they add a small bit. Find the confidence limits of the population mean. So like that you can calculate. So what we call this, the testing procedure for the what we call the population mean. Very, very simple method. If you do one or two problems, then you actually understand that easiness. Okay, let us go for problems. So this is the problem for the first test. What is the test for mean of a population? What is your single mean? So what is a single mean? So a single population mean, we are comparing that of the sample. Double means two population means you compare. Now here, what is the problem? The mean marks of 1600 school boys selected as a sample is 99. Okay. Can the mean marks of the students in that district taken as 100 with standard deviation 15? So whenever the testing of hypothesis problems given to you, you have to immediately observe whether the given problem is a large sample test or the small sample test model. How do you find whether the large sample problem or is the small sample problem? Based upon the sample size. Once if you decode, once if you identify, then choosing the formula is going to be the next stage. I mean to say, applying the test statistic. Now if you see this problem, what is the sample size here? The mean marks of 1600 school students. 1600 school by selected as a sample is 99. Can the mean marks of the students in the district can be taken as 100 with standard is 15. Now carefully observe. Okay, so what is the sample here? The sample size you know very well. We are going to represent by means of vertical small n. 1600, which is more than of what you called our actual constraint 30. Hence, the problem is of what type? It's a large sample type. Okay. So under large sample again, this problem falls under which method? Test for single mean, test for double mean. Next we are going to discuss about the test for single proportion, test for double proportion. For that one, you need to observe the question tags most of the times. So what is that? The mean marks of the students in the district taken as 100 with the standard deviation as 15. So what he wants to know actually, the district mean is also can be considered as what you call 100. But only we know the sample information and we are going to test whether this is acceptable or not. One thing is evident. What is that? This is a large sample test problem. Point 1 is over. Now point 2. One more thing, just now we decoded that this problem falls under test for single mean. Okay. Now immediately what is the thing you need to do? You need to write down the null hypothesis. Just for writing null hypothesis 3 to 4 marks would be there. That too what form? Notation form. H naught. Test for single mean, you know from the what you call theory. How do you write the null hypothesis? Mu, that is equal to, okay, any given value mu naught. Actually, what is the given value mu naught here? Some value is given, which is nothing but 100. So what is that given? 100. So for this entire population, that entire district mean marks as 100. We need to test whether this is correct or not. So immediately after developing the notation statement, the next thing you need to do is what is that? Writing the verbal statement. What is that? It can be considered that the mean marks of the district as 100. So this is called a verbal statement. Remember that while writing the verbal statement, reproduce the question statement as it is in a positive way. Okay. And also always remember that in the statistics, entire thing what you are going to give, entire information what you are going to provide, it's our opinion. We cannot 100% what you called, we cannot providing 100% guarantee. That's why what you are using here, approximation words we are using. We are assuming, we can be considered, it can be regarded. Like that you need to start. Okay. So the null hypothesis is over. The immediate next what is required? Alternative hypothesis. So what is the notation? H1 or else HA also you can write. H1. Mu. Be careful. Null hypothesis is very easy because there is no what you call confusion. More 100% you are going to use is equal to only. But when the alternative hypothesis you are using, you need to watch for directly you can write the not equal to or else less than or greater than. For that one, you need to observe very carefully the question sentence. Can the mean marks of the students in the district taken as 100 with standard deviation as 15? So what here indicates whether we need to consider or not. Yes or no, that's it. But here there is no question word that the mean marks more than, the mean marks less than, like that. No comparative words. When there is no comparative word, that indicates that directly we can put what you call the not equal to. This point is very, very important. Because based upon the alternate hypothesis only, the finally table value are going to read out. Be careful. That's why while writing the alternate hypothesis, you need to identify whether you need to write the not equal to sign, greater than, less than. So what is the logic here? If comparative words are there like less than, greater than, then you can write less than or greater than. If there are no comparative words, the thing you need to write here is nothing but exactly not equal to. Not equal to what? The given value. What is the given value here? 100. That's it. Now immediately what you can write now? The verbal information. H1 colon dash. Say verbal information I am putting in the colon dash. It looks attractive. That's why what I suggest you see the textbooks. So what is that? Now it can be I wrote here. So immediately for this opposite sentence what I can write now? It cannot be. It cannot be. So verbal should match with the notation. Here also verbal should match with the notation. It cannot be regarded or it cannot be considered. It cannot be considered that the mean marks of the district students, the mean marks of the district students, missing here, district students as 100. That's all. So this word is very, very important. Okay, that's all. 25% work is over. Just for writing this, you will be awarded 3 to 4 marks. Now immediately what is required? You need to write down the test statistic. Before that, what is that? Given that. What are given to you? Given that. So what is that? The mean marks of 1600 school boys. That in the sample size here small n is nothing but 1600. Next, the mean marks, sample mean is represented as x bar. What is the value? 99. So sample information is given. Next one. So what is the information provided? What is the population mean? That is mu naught. Given what is that? 100. The next, the sample standard deviation is 15. So what you can write? Population standard deviation is sigma 15. Then what is the formula according to our theory? That is test statistic. Test statistic. So your population standard deviation is given. Hence we use the first formula. So what is that? Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught by sigma by root n, which follows n01. So which follows standard normal distribution. So this is the formula. We substitute. So x bar is there, mu naught is given, sigma is given. We simplify. Now we get the answer. So let us see here. So here I substituted x bar value, mu naught, sigma by root n value. So this is the substitution. Okay. Simplified, because 99 minus 100 you are getting negative value. So minus 1 by the denominator value simplified, and overall what you got? Z is equal to minus 2.6 6667. But I already told you, though the negative value comes, we need to consider as a positive value. Hence, positive value, how do you write? Modulus of what you call Z. So this is calculated value. Hence, modulus of ZC becomes now 2.6667. So this is the calculated value. Now what we are doing? We are going for the table value information. How to get the table value? This is very, very important. So for getting a table value, first thing is you need to identify whether the given problem is of two-tailed test or else a one-tailed test. How do you find that? Based upon the notation of the alternative hypothesis. Okay. Now what is the notation of the alternative hypothesis here? Not equal. Hence, this is of what kind of test? Two-tailed test. If at all less than greater than sign is there, that indicates it's a one-tailed test. If exactly not equal to what you call that, it's a two-tailed test. Then in the problem, there is no what you call considerable LOS value. That means they did not ask you give this answer with 95% confidence or else 90% confidence. So 95% confidence means 100 minus 95. What is that LOS value? 5% LOS. 90% means 100 minus 90. What you get? 10% LOS. So that LOS value is not given, whether 5% value is required or 10% value. So whenever LOS value is not given, the standard LOS value is nothing but, that is alpha percent, is nothing but 5%. What is that? 5%. So hence I am going to get the 5% table value here. Okay. So already yesterday in the PowerPoint I showed you the standard table values. Now see here. Now these are the standard table values. So for two-tailed test, what is the 5% LOS value? 1.96. This we are considering and we are comparing with the calculated value. So what is that? 1.96. Okay. Let us see now what happens. Now here we write a sentence. What is that? The two-tailed, because this is a two-tailed test, the two-tailed table value, the two-tailed table value of standard normal distribution at 5% LOS is 1.96. Now we compare this value with that of this value and we give the answer. Now what is the calculated value? That is 2.467 and the table value is 1.96. Always remember that. Write down the table value in the right hand side, calculated value in the left hand side. If you change the positions, conclusion is going to confuse you. This point is very, very important. Write down the calculated value in the left hand side, table value in the right hand side. Now what is the symbol? 2.467, 1.96. We consider only the positive value, not the negative value. So the symbol is going to be greater than. Am I right? That is, according to theory, modulus of ZC is greater than, so what is it? It's a two-tailed table value, Z alpha by 2. Then what is the conclusion according to theory? Calculated value is more. Hence, what is the conclusion? H0 is rejected. H0 is rejected. That is, so in terms of what you called clear way how to write conclusion, answer. That is, it cannot be. So when you are rejecting H0 means you are considering H1 as the correct answer. So what is that H1? It cannot be regarded or it cannot be considered. It cannot be considered the mean marks of the students of entire district as 100. That's all. This is the problem answer. So this is actually the solution. That means we rewriting the H1 statement as it is. So what to call this? The solution of the testing of hypothesis problem. Simply this problem also you can write within 1 or 2 steps. But to get full marks, this entire procedure you need to write down. So once all of you check. So first null hypothesis, notation verbal, next alternative hypothesis, notation verbal and given values, and the formula we wrote, substituted in the formula and calculated. Remember that while calculating, don't feed all the information directly in the calculator. The best technique is first you simplify the numerator, next you simplify the denominator, after that numerator by denominator you calculate. If you directly press all the values in the calculator, you will get wrong answers. So here it has given a negative, but we need to consider positive only. So how do you put modulus of ZC becomes 2.467. So this is a two-tailed table value because the test statistic is not equal to. That's why what you are writing here, the two no alpha value is given, 5%, 10% like that. The standard alpha value is what? 5%. The two-tailed table value of N01 at 5% always is 1.96. Always the calculated value in the LHS side, table value in the RHS side. Compared, so calculated value is more, hence H0 has been rejected. So this is the conclusion answer. Getting my point? Now, besides this, sometimes what happens, they ask to calculate the confidence limits, fiducial limits for the population parameter. Then how to do that? Nothing. Very simple. In the same formula, the sample value plus or minus of what you call the standard error value, okay, into the table value. We get the answer. So let us take up that bit also. Now I am going to calculate the confidence limits. Now what is the actual formula we have applied? That is Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught by sigma by root n. Same thing here we are applying. Need not to by heart for the confidence limits. First we write down how to develop the formula. So which are nothing but the sample information. Okay. So confidence limits we put in the flower brackets, that is x bar, okay, plus or minus the table value Z alpha by 2, okay, into what you call the standard error. So what is the standard error? Nothing but the numerator value. This is the general formula for this. Now like this, if you expand here, what you get? X bar plus or minus, okay. What is Z alpha by 2 in this problem? That is the table value 1.96, okay, 1.96 into what is the standard error? This denominator term. What is that? 15 by square root of 1600. That's all. So what do you get here? So nothing but for this we add one time, subtract one time. So what is that? Again, if you want, x bar is 99 plus or minus 1.96, okay, 15 by under square root 1600. If you want here itself, you can write 99 also. Now you simplify. So how do you get 99? Okay. First small limit, lower limit. So lower limit means by subtraction you get. So minus of, okay, this entire value 1.96 into 15 by 1600. Okay. Next higher limit by adding. So 99 plus, what is that, 1.96, 15 by square root 1600. Okay, so these are the limits. This value is simplified. So how to get the first value? The first value after simplification, once you check, you get 98.265, lower limit. The second value you are going to get 99.735, something like that. Little bit variation would be there because these are the decimal values. So this technique is very, very important. So from the formula only you are finding the limits, lower limit, higher limit. Write down the formula. The sample value plus or minus stable value into denominator value. The denominator value you are calling as a standard error. So plus or minus. So for lower limit, once you need to go for minus operation. For a higher limit, you need to go for addition operation, plus. Okay. So this is the entire completion of the problem. Confidence limits. Let us see neatly in the notes I did. So we need to do the problem in such a manner. Okay. Same problem. Neatly I wrote here. See the procedure. Null hypothesis. Notation. Verbal. Alternative. Notation. Verbal. On this given information, test statistic calculated, I got the negative. So immediately I wrote mod Z. If you want mod ZC, you can write. So mod ZC. Okay. And now table value. The two-tail table value of N01 at 5% LYC is 1.96. Always calculated value is in the LHS side, table value in the RHS side. So ZC greater than Z alpha by 2. Hence we reject H0. The mean marks of the students in the district cannot be, this word is very, very important, regarded as 100. So this is the way how to calculate the confidence limits. Okay. So this finishes your first test. What is the test for single mean? So only one population. We are comparing the sample mean of that population. So in the next test, what we are going to do, we are comparing two populations. Same procedure. Okay. Thank you.